Alright guys, welcome to a one-shot what if. I always wonder what would happen if Cell Max was perfect. Dragon Ball Superhero is a great movie, one of my favorites in fact, but the fact that Cell wasn't perfect and he was just a mindless beast kind of, I don't know, it got rid of how iconic Cell was. However, let's change things up a bit. What if Cell was perfected? And what if Cell Max remembered Gohan and everything? That is what we're gonna start off with. Also, don't forget to check out my movie. I'll leave a link in the description below. What if Cooler was canon? With all that being said, let's get to it. We cut to Dr. Manido. Manido was working on Cell Max and wanted to make real-life superheroes. He didn't really care about this Cell person. He thought Cell was a beast. He remembered the Cell games. Now he announced he would fight everyone. Then Mr. Satan somehow beat him. Of course, now he knows the full story about Bulma being evil and such. Or maybe they're not. After all, he knows the Red Ribbon Army is evil itself, so he doesn't know how much he can trust. But he has money and resources to build superheroes, so that's a good thing. As Manido was working, he would look back at the footage of the Cell games. Drones managed to capture everything. However, when Cell blew up, there was a chunk of his brain that fell off to the side. You see, Cell was able to move his nucleus and heal. However, it seems like he tried to move his nucleus out of his body but failed, but part of his brain came out. Manido could use this to make Cell Max. He didn't really want to, but as a last resort, he guessed he had to. So, he decided to go to the tournament and search for it. Most likely it was probably eaten by an animal or something by now, but he actually found it. It was rotten, barely anything left, but he picked it up. Cell's brain was still intact, so he brought it along. He brought it to the lab and began to research with it, began to experiment with it, and began to bring back its memories and put it back in Cell Max. Eventually, this brain began to grow and grow and grow until it was perfected. Now, Cell Max was just in a deep sleep, in a deep coma. Manido would decide to lie, though, and tell everyone he wasn't perfected so they wouldn't let him go, because he saw him as too dangerous to live. He even regretted making him. However, eventually he would have to go, though. Eventually, everything would happen as canon until Cell Max was let go. Since the doctor lied, everyone thought he wasn't perfected, so he would still be let go the same way. As he walked out, Piccolo and Gohan got ready to fight, as Piccolo would begin to give him his speech, but then Cell Max just looked at him and shrank down to his normal form. Cell would say, "Bigger is always better, but small things do come in small packages. Besides, I think it would be more fun to fight like this." Gohan and Piccolo would be confused. They were told he wasn't perfected. The doctor would come in and say he lied to protect the world, as he was able to move his nucleus around to heal from any injury. However, he couldn't get it outside of his body, but part of his brain did fall out. Correct. The good doctor remade me, and I have all my memories. As Cell Max walked, Piccolo stretched out his arm to grab him, but Cell was too fast. He flew straight towards Piccolo and punched him, sending him flying into a wall. Cell Max then began to beat up Piccolo. As Gohan looked at him and start to get a little bit more angry. He got angrier and angrier and angrier. Pan would say, "Don't hurt Piccolo," as he began to charge a ki blast at Pan. But then, Cell Max actually stopped. What's the point? As Gohan looked confused, so did Piccolo. Cell Max then said sorry and began to walk off. As Gohan said, "Wait, what are you doing?" The two Gammas looked at Cell Max too, as Cell Max looked and said, "I saw everything. As my mind was being reconstructed, as I was being reconstructed in that pod, I saw you win victory after victory. I saw you defeat Majin Buu. I saw everything. All these memories were placed into my brain, artificially or watching it happen. And I realized something, through my deep slumber, that I can't win against you guys. No one can. Sure, I might be stronger. Sure, I might win a battle. But you'll come back and beat me somehow. It always happens. I don't know why. It's like the universe won't let you lose. Well, I'm not falling into that trap. I want a good fight, but I'm not gonna fall into it like I did last time, egging Gohan on until he killed me. I'm not doing that again. Cell would then just fly out into space. Gohan and Piccolo were shocked. It seemed that Cell learned a lesson. He learned that he might be stronger than the Z fighters now, but they'll get stronger to beat him. It doesn't matter what he does, he'll always lose. It's like he's not meant to win. Cell would land on a far-off planet and begin to train. And as he trained, eventually, as days passed, the Z fighters would appear: Gohan, Piccolo, Goku, and Vegeta. Piccolo would look at him, as Cell looked at all of them saying, I don't want to fight. Well, that's a lie. I do want to fight, but I don't want to fight to the death. I understand if you want to kill me, but Goku would say, no, I don't. This seems different for you, Cell. Goku would give him a serious look. I heard about you leaving, and I can tell you're not a good person, but you're not as evil as you used to be, Cell. Vegeta would say, don't trust it, just kill him. Cell would say, there's Vegeta, always the same. You know, if they treated you like that, you'd be dead. Vegeta just sighed angrily as Goku looked at him and said, let's fight. You can tell a lot about someone while you fight. Cell said, I don't know about that. I might go overboard and kill you. You think so little of me, Goku said, smirking. Then he turned Ultra Instinct as Cell Max looked and began to fight Goku Ultra Instinct. Goku and Cell Max fought. At first, Goku was winning. However, Cell Max would look at him and begin to copy his moves, since he was Master Ultra Instinct too. Cell Max had all the fighting potential of all of them, and Broly was on Earth too, so he managed to get some of his potential too. It was incredible. Cell Max fought Goku, and without a sweat, he defeated him. Goku looked at him, and Cell Max sighed. I could kill you right now, but that would just lead to my death. What do you mean? Think about it, Goku. Even when you lost, somehow you always won. Somehow you and your friends always pulled through. The universe wants you to win, so there's no point of going up against you. Cell would say. Goku would get up and say, well, I can feel that you're not evil, or at least as evil as you were, but you're definitely not good. Not yet. I think you have a place in this universe. Cell would look at him and say, I don't. I'm not meant to be here. I don't feel like I belong here. I feel like this is a mistake somehow. Cell would then sigh and sit down. My life was just to get perfection. As soon as I got it, I just wanted a good fight. Then it killed me. Now, I don't really know what I want. Does my life even have a purpose? Cell said. He would walk up to him and say, what the hell's the matter with you? It used to be you were all about fighting. It was all about you reaching your perfect form, then opening a tournament. And now you're like, my life doesn't matter. What the hell got into you, Cell? If this is an act, I'm not buying it. Cell would look at Vegeta and say, it's not an act. Think about it. You defeated Majin Buu. You defeated threat after threat. Even Beerus, a man you couldn't defeat, didn't destroy you. The universe doesn't want you to be destroyed. You're meant to exist. It's your purpose. They would all look confused. Cell kept going on about this purpose talk, about how they couldn't lose, or how they would never die, or something like that. But the rest of them didn't really agree with that or understand it. Gohan understood it a bit, but it just didn't understand why. Gohan put his hand on Cell's shoulder. If you're right, let's research it. Research? I'm not smart enough to understand that. But you are. Research it all you want. I'm just gonna train and fight every once in a while, but I'm done with all this destruction nonsense. It led me to where I am now. It led to my death. And I learned from my mistakes. I'm glad I got to meet you all, though. I'm glad I got to watch your adventures. Even if it was through a test tube. Cell would then fly off the planet into space to think. Cell would decide to stop fighting, at least for now. He needed to find his place in the universe. He needed to think about why they always won. No matter what threat it was, Goku and Vegeta and his friends always pulled through. He didn't know why. There had to be some sort of reason, but he just couldn't put his finger on it. Cell would research this, and well, what would happen? Would Cell realize he was in a show? Would Cell give up? Would Cell just go back to being his old self? No one really knew. Only time would tell. What would Cell do? And that's going to leave things off. A one shot so far. Yeah, I know there wasn't a lot of fighting and stuff, but I wanted to make it so in case, in the future I wanted to continue it, I could. And honestly, I think this is more realistic. Think about it. Cell lost once when he was already super powerful. Would he do the same thing again just to lose? I mean, even Frieza trained for 10 years to make sure that wouldn't happen. True, Cell could do that, but Cell would see everything. Cell would see every victory they ever had. Cell would see all this. After all this time, I think he would realize he just couldn't win. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out. I love you all.